This is United Network News with Sunny Galt, Calen, Kimberly Gogan, and our field messengers from around the world. Here's today's real news.
Nestlé, the world's largest food and beverage company, sure knows how to keep things interesting. With its massive global footprint, the company seems to find itself in the spotlight as much for its controversies as for its products. Recently, a few more scandals have bubbled to the surface that makes you wonder what's really going on behind the scenes.
In January 2024, Le Monde and Radio France reported Nestlé had used banned water treatment methods to address contamination in its bottled water brands, such as Perrier, Vittel, Hepar, and Contrex. The French consumer rights group Food Watch filed a complaint in February 2024, accusing the company of using illegal purification practices. Nestlé admitted to employing prohibited techniques, including ultraviolet light and carbon filters, to ensure the safety of its mineral water. Last September, Nestlé avoided trial by agreeing to a €2 million fine under a judicial settlement. While the company acknowledged its failure to comply with regulations, it maintains its bottled water brands now meet French standards.
A unit of Nestlé SA has agreed to pay about $2.2 million to settle the French criminal allegations related to its production of natural mineral water. The settlement marks the end of two separate investigations into Nestlé's water supplies under the agreement with local prosecutors. Nestlé has admitted no guilt but will pay a fine and will comply with additional restoration measures. As part of the settlement, Nestlé Waters will also contribute about $1.2 million towards a restoration plan and will pay about $550,000 to several associations that have brought complaints to authorities. But despite the financial penalties, Nestlé maintained that its activities since 2023 fully comply with the regulatory standards and insists that no public health harm has resulted from its practice, which it claims did not alter the mineral composition of the water. The settlement has drawn criticism from consumer advocacy group Food Watch. One of the plaintiffs in the case, in a statement, they've argued that the deal demonstrates a lack of accountability, accusing Nestlé of deceiving consumers for years and resolving the issue merely by paying a fine. However, the agreement brings an official close to the legal proceedings.
Recently, new documents showed the French government prioritized Nestlé's interests over consumer safety. Reports accuse Nestlé lobbied heavily to approve the non-compliant water treatment systems, despite health ministry objections. Officials allowed sales of water that didn't meet regulations, even though it posed health risks. Nestlé reportedly warned stricter environmental laws could cause job losses in France, pressuring the government in the early 2020s. Radio France called this a secret deal to bypass regulations. President Macron denied involvement, although his chief of staff reportedly interacted with Nestlé executives. The scandal has sparked debate over corporate influence on government policies, especially on environmental issues. This isn't the first time Nestlé has found itself at the center of controversy. In 2024, the company faced heavy criticism for adding unhealthy levels of sugar to its baby food products, raising serious questions about its priorities when it comes to health and ethics. And if you think this was the only baby food scandal in Nestlé's history, think again. Back in 1974, a report called The Baby Killer accused the company of promoting infant formula in poor countries, leading to illness and even infant deaths, sparking a global boycott in 1977.
Nestlé is in trouble again. The Zurich-based watchdog IBFAN sent samples of product to be tested, and they found added sugars. For example, almost all of the Cerelac wheat-based baby cereals, on average, an added 4 grams of sugar per serving. The highest was in the Philippines at 7.3 grams per serving. 7 of the 15 samples did not list added sugar on the nutrition label. The samples from the UK and from Europe contained no added sugar. The World Health Organization recommends no added sugars and no sweeteners added to food for children under the age of 3. Nestlé claims that they have been reducing added sugar in their products by 11% over the last decade, and that the differences in the formulations are due to local regulations and the availability of ingredients.
Nestlé has faced its fair share of controversies over the years. In 2021, along with Mars and Hershey, it was sued for allegedly allowing child slavery on cocoa farms in their supply chains. Back in 2018, they were hit with a lawsuit claiming their no GMO ingredients labeling was misleading, with accusations of using GMO-fed dairy and designing packaging to mimic certification from the Non-GMO Project. Their Poland spring water brand also faced scrutiny in 2017 with allegations that it's just common groundwater, despite being marketed as 100% natural spring water. Nestlé has also been criticized for over-pumping water from California springs, leading to investigations and even orders to stop. On top of that, they've been accused of exploiting groundwater in areas where locals need it most, selling it for profit.
Nestle is stealing your water and selling it back to you for a profit. Well, here's what's going on. Picture this. You get a bottle of water called Pure Life. The name alone makes you think of crisp mountain springs and untouched glaciers, right?
Nestle Pure Life, 100% spring water.
That's the illusion Nestle wants you to believe. Here's the reality. Nestle often sources water straight from public streams, springs, and aquifers, paying next to nothing. Then they package it up, slap a premium label on it, and sell it back to you for $2 a bottle. And here's where it gets dark. In Flint, Michigan, during a water crisis, Nestle pumped 200 gallons a minute, paying just $200 a year for the privilege. It was a struggling state, and they profited on water. In California, a state constantly battling droughts, Nestle's been accused of illegally siphoning water from protected forests. And the communities left behind, they're often struggling with depleted water supplies, trying to scrape together enough to drink. You think this was just a U.S. issue, but no, it's global. In countries like Pakistan and Brazil, Nestle has faced intense backlash for exploiting local water sources, leaving people high and dry. So the next time you grab that plastic bottle of water off the shelf, think about where it might be coming from.
Nestlé's history of scandals raises serious questions about its commitment to ethics, health, and environmental responsibility. From lobbying governments to bypass regulations to prioritizing profits over public safety, the company's influence on policymaking reflects a troubling imbalance of power. As consumers, staying informed about these practices is important to hold corporations accountable for their actions.
Boost your gut health with Homemade Probiotic Yogurt. Instead of using regular yogurt cultures, this recipe uses 2 special patented bacterial strains, inspired by Swedish research. UNN Field Messenger Susan shows us how to make this yogurt at home.
Hi, this is Susan in Stockholm for UNN. Let's talk about how to boost your gut health with homemade probiotic yogurt. But this probiotic yogurt is not made with yogurt strains, but 2 patented bacterial strains called L. reuteri. Here is what you need. 10 chewing pills from the Swedish company BioGaia Gastrus. 1 tablespoon of inulin, a prebiotic that nourishes probiotics. A quart or liter of organic half and half for a rich, creamy texture. And a heating device set to maximum 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius for 36 hours. Next time you do this, you only use a little bit of your old yogurt. And you can do that for a few times, but then you need to restart whenever you feel the taste is going off. Now, some people will boil the milk. Make sure that if you do boil it to 176 degrees Fahrenheit or 80 degrees Celsius, that you cool the milk down before adding your culture. Also, the reason is because I bought this milk today and it comes straight from the farm. So here is inulin. It's for the bacteria to eat. I use milk that is as natural as can be because it yields the best consistency. And I don't believe in avoiding saturated fat or calories. Some of the benefits, according to Dr. William Davids, are smoothing of skin wrinkles. Other benefits are quicker healing, cutting healing time in almost half. Reduced appetite and preservation of bone density. L-Reuteri is an important step to prevent osteoporosis. Some also notice deeper sleep. Many yogurt makers are unreliable to hold the temperature, so do check that it isn't too high. I ruined a few batches this way. Just mix, ferment, and enjoy a gut-friendly homemade yogurt that supports your health. And if it smells good, it's good to eat. And if it doesn't smell good, shuck it. So this is Susan reporting from Stockholm for UNN. Good luck with your yogurt.
UNN Field Messenger CJ and Justin share an easy recipe for gluten-free, flourless brownies, a healthier twist on classic brownies. With simple ingredients like black beans, cocoa powder, honey, and chocolate chips, they create a smooth, delicious batter.
Hi everyone, this is CJ and
Justin.
And we're from
Southwest New Hampshire.
And we're reporters for United Network News. And today we're going to show you how to make gluten-free, flourless brownies. So Justin's going to show you what utensils you will have to have ready when you bake these. So you're going to need a blender or a mixer, a saucepan. You're going to need a measuring cup. You're going to need a strainer. You're going to need measuring spoons. Great, and whatever pan you decide to cook them in. So now we're going to move into the ingredients that you'll need. We are doing a triple batch. So you're going to need 3 cans of black beans. Yep, you're going to need some chocolate chips. Yep. You're going to need baking powder. You're going to need vanilla. And then you're going to need honey. Then you're going to need some cocoa powder. Yep, cocoa powder. Then you're going to need some walnuts if you want walnuts. That's optional. Peanut butter, that's also optional if you want peanut butter. Yeah. Coconut oil is what we choose, but you can use actually any oil that you want. Vegetable oil, I think is what she said in the video. Canola oil, we don't use those. And then you're going to need some eggs. So those are the ingredients that you will need. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the blender on after we get the cover on, and we're going to mix it all up. So now that the beans, the honey, and the eggs are mixed up with the vanilla in there as well, there was 1 teaspoon per batch. So there's 3 teaspoons of vanilla in there. There's about a cup of honey. And right now, Justin's going to add the unsweetened baking cocoa, which I mixed with the baking powder. Oh, yeah. And it was a ½ teaspoon of baking powder per batch. And it called for 1/4 cup of the baking cocoa, unsweetened, which I put the full cup in. And then we're going to mix it again. Okay, so we strained and drained the juice off of our 3 cans of black beans. It's 3 eggs per batch. So Justin is cracking 9 eggs. Justin is now going to add the 9 tablespoons of coconut oil to the blender. So as you can see, the batter is just very cake-like. It's very smooth, no clumps, it mixed well. So on this next pan, Justin's going to throw in the walnuts and the chocolate chips. We tend to do ours a little in between both. So once that's mixed in, we'll put them in and we'll show you the finished product. So how is it?
Good.
And be creative with your recipe because it's so cool to just make it your own. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye now.
Bye, y'all.
Step into a world of possibilities with New Earth, a groundbreaking series that shines light on holistic ways to live, work, and thrive. Join us weekly to discover new innovative ideas and explore the world around us as we, together, create our future, our New Earth.
No one should have to second guess their safety when ordering a drink. Yet drink spiking remains a serious and growing issue. Bars and restaurants are now stepping up. Some are now providing drug testing kits to help detect dangerous substances in their drinks. This move isn't just about prevention. It's about giving people the tools to protect themselves and sending a clear message that predatory behavior won't be tolerated.
Date rape drugs are a serious threat, making it easy for predators to take advantage of unsuspecting victims. Rohypnol, a super strong benzodiazepine, has been misused since the 1970s, even though it was never approved in the U.S. GHB started making headlines in the 90s because it's tasteless and could easily be slipped into drinks, causing drowsiness, dizziness, and memory loss. Then there's ketamine, a powerful anesthetic that, according to the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency, is often abused for its hallucinogenic effects, leaving victims completely out of it and vulnerable. The impact of these drugs is devastating. According to the Canadian Medical Association Journal, about 25% of the 1,400 women who reach out to sexual assault centers each year say drugs played a role in their attack. In the U.S., Women's Health reports nearly 11 million women have been raped while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. These numbers are heartbreaking and show just how big of a problem this really is. Some governments are now approving legislation to help stop it.
Would you feel safer if a bar you were patronizing gave you a roofie test strip so you could test your drink if you were feeling uneasy? If you answered yes, then you should be really excited, especially if you live in California. So there was a bill passed called AB 1013, and a bar owner in Long Beach, who's also an assemblyman, was able to pass the bill, and now every bar by July 1st who carries a license 48, so that's anyone who has a nightclub or a bar that has alcohol without food, they have to carry roofie or benzodiazepine test strips either for sale or that they're giving their customers. Josh, who created the bill and got it passed, actually said, "This is great that we got the governor to sign the bill, but I'll only feel happy when we know we're making an impact on cutting down sexual assault. That's it. That's the only measuring stick here."
Along with the drug testing kits, California's new law also requires bars and nightclubs to put up signs letting customers know the kits are available at their location. This affects around 2,400 businesses across the state, while other states like Washington have introduced similar bills, such as one in 2024 aiming to make these kits mandatory. Nothing has passed yet. Drink spiking has also been a serious issue in the UK for a while. According to police reports, in 2023, nearly 7,000 incidents were reported in England and Wales, although experts believe the actual number could be much higher. In response, the UK government is making drink spiking a specific criminal offense, which should make it easier to convict offenders. They are also rolling out a program to train 10,000 bar staff by the end of 2025 on how to prevent drink spiking, support victims, and assist police with evidence collection.
The spiking laws in England and Wales haven't been changed since the 1860s, but they are now. Here's what you need to know. Currently, spiking comes under the umbrella of a number of laws, but it's about to become its own standalone offence.
It is a huge and vast issue, the issue of violence against women and girls, from sexual offences, domestic abuse offences, spiking offences.
Do you feel the UK is becoming less safe to be a woman? Is there a lack of value that's placed on women's lives?
Look, I don't think it is becoming less safe, if I'm honest. I think it was never safe.
The new criminal offence for spiking will carry up to 10 years in prison.
It's killing everyone!
Thames Valley Police have been using these spiking detection dogs like Major. They're being used on night patrols to go up and down queues outside pubs, bars and restaurants to find potential perpetrators. Some venues are putting in preventative measures in place. So when you come and order a drink here, you can either opt to have a spiky or a toppy. The idea of this one is it goes into the top of the bottle and a straw can poke through the top. This one is made of foil. It goes over the rim of the glass and a straw pokes through it. The idea that nothing can be put inside these glasses.
Drink covers and lids aren't everywhere just yet, but there's definitely a growing effort to fight drink spiking. People are even taking matters into their own hands by creating products to help. One example is the nightcap, a hair scrunchie that turns into a drink cover created by a young entrepreneur. It's just one of the many ways people are getting creative and encouraging others to stay safe.
It's literally just a scrunchie that you can wear on your wrist, but it also can cover your drink. Basically, a college friend of mine was roofied at the bar, and a couple weeks later, I slept on it because I thought of the idea in a dream. And when I woke up, I knew I had to take action. I was 16 at the time, and I just knew it would save a lot of lives. So here we are. And today we have sold over 500,000 units. You can get yours here on TikTok Shop.
While women are often seen as primary targets, anyone, regardless of gender, age, sexual preference, or background, can be affected by drink spiking and the risk of assault that can come with it. If you suspect your drink has been tampered with, stop drinking it immediately and tell someone you trust, such as a friend, bartender, or security staff. If you can't talk, you can always use a hand signal to let someone know you're in danger. This is what it looks like. Put your hand up like this, and you close it down. Try to get to a safe place as soon as possible and seek medical help if you feel unwell. If you're alone, call a trusted friend or emergency services. Keeping an eye on your drink at all times, avoiding accepting drinks from strangers, and using drink covers or test strips when available can help reduce your risk.
Making homemade dog food can be a healthy option. You can create recipes that match your dog's nutritional needs. UNN Field Messenger Heather shares how she makes food for her dogs.
Hello, this is Heather, Field Messenger for United Network News, coming to you from Southern Utah. Today, I'm going to be showing you an easy way to make dog food with a few simple ingredients. Today, I'm using ground turkey, brown rice, some frozen vegetables, avocado oil, and this supplement that's got vitamins, amino acids, and minerals. When you're choosing the vegetables that you're going to use in your dog's food, please make sure that you do your research and that you're using stuff that is safe and healthy for dogs. I formulated this recipe using the instructions on balanceit.com. That is the name of the company where I order this nutritional supplement that I add to the dog's food. You can choose to add the supplement later before each meal, but I know from experience that all of this is about 1 week of food for one dog. So I'm going to go ahead and add 14 servings of the oil and the supplement now. Now that everything is finished cooking, I'm going to mix it all together in this big bowl, and I'm going to add the oil and the supplement. And then I'll separate it into different containers depending on whether I'm going to refrigerate it and use it soon or freeze it for later in the week. Here it is, all put together and ready to serve. As you can see, both of my dogs love this food so much that I have to give it to them in slow feeders so they don't inhale it. Here you are, 2 very happy dogs. This has been Heather, Field Messenger for UNN. Thanks for watching.
Every year, many of us cling to old electronics we no longer use. Outdated phones, broken laptops, and unused gadgets pile up, leaving us with the question, what should we do with them? Recycling e-waste is key to reducing waste and protecting the environment. But challenges are holding back the industry's growth.
Electronic waste, or e-waste recycling, is all about recovering valuable materials from discarded electronics. These materials get reused to make new products, which means less need for raw materials and less harm to the environment. The United Nations Global E-Waste Monitor for 2024 highlights a critical issue. Electronic waste is at an all-time high, growing 5 times faster than recycling efforts can handle. This surge is fueled by frequent tech upgrades, shorter product lifespans, and shifts like transitioning from CDs to cloud storage. The affordability of electronics also makes it easier to replace devices rather than repair them. Statistics show only 12% of small electronics are recycled globally, with larger devices not faring much better. As a result, billions of dollars worth of old gadgets like iPods and TVs end up in landfills every year.
Think about all the stuff around your house that has a cord or battery. Toasters, flashlights, hair dryers. What do you do with it when it stops working? The average American produces 47 pounds of e-waste each year, contributing to the 62 million tons globally. That's like throwing 800 laptops away every second.
It may be more convenient to just toss out those end-of-life electronics with the trash, but it's convenience that got us here. Planned obsolescence is a common business strategy with electronics, where products are intentionally designed to break or become out of date within a set amount of time. Like when you update your phone only to notice a slower operating speed. This entices consumers to upgrade their device and in turn produce more e-waste. Plus, all e-waste has something of value, like metal or circuit boards. And they may also contain toxic materials that when dumped in a landfill pollute the environment.
Despite regulations to control e-waste transport between countries, illegal shipments to low and middle income countries persist. This, according to the World Health Organization. E-waste provides income for some communities, but poses serious risks, especially to children due to weak regulations, poor recycling infrastructure, and lack of training. Classified as hazardous waste, e-waste contains toxic materials like lead, mercury, and dioxins, which harm health when improperly recycled. Also, rights groups report many critical minerals used in smartphones, solar panels, and electric vehicles come from countries with poor and exploitative working conditions. Failing to recycle means more resources needed to be mined to create new electronics. Precious metals like gold and silver found in limited supply are extracted through mining, which causes deforestation, soil erosion, and pollution. Recycling e-waste helps recover these materials, reduces the need for mining, and protects the environment.
Every year, millions of old cell phones, credit cards, and computer chips are discarded. But did you know they contain valuable metals like gold, silver, and palladium? This process, known as e-waste recycling or urban mining, extracts these precious materials for reuse. A single ton of discarded circuit boards can yield up to 800 times more gold than a ton of mined ore. Instead of letting e-waste pile up in landfills, people are turning trash into treasure. Who knew there's real money hiding in your old electronics?
Recycling electronics is great, but it also comes with its challenges. Modern devices are made with mixed materials that are hard to separate. Electronics are made of both hazardous materials like lead and mercury and non-hazardous ones, which require special handling. On top of that, many people don't know how to properly dispose of old devices, making recycling efforts even harder. So what can be done? Companies can make a big difference by working with certified recyclers and educating consumers on safe, easy ways to recycle their e-waste. And as a consumer, finding the right place to recycle can feel tricky, but taking that extra step helps to make a difference. If your device still works, donate it to a school or charity instead. If not, choose a certified electronics recycler that puts the environment first. Don't forget to wipe your data and take off any accessories. Lastly, check out local rules and programs to make sure you're disposing of e-waste the right way.
Disposing of your old electronics responsibly is way easier than you might think. So with that in mind, here are the simplest ways you can do it. Number 1, drop your stuff off at a major electronics retailer. Most people don't realize it, but places like Best Buy, Staples, and Walmart all have super robust recycling programs and will sometimes even give you discounts or in-store credit for bringing your old stuff in. Number 2, use manufacturer trade-in programs. If you have any old devices that were made by big brands like Amazon, Apple, or Samsung, you could usually trade those electronics in no matter how old they are. You probably won't get a ton of money back by doing it this way, but the company will almost always take the old device and recycle it for you. Last but not least, if you have weird stuff that you're not sure what to do with, like car batteries or solar panels or 3D printer resin, just go to earth911.com. It's an awesome resource, and if you punch in your zip code, it'll show you all the places in your area where you can recycle your e-junk totally free of charge. Don't just chuck your old gear in the trash. With just a little bit of extra effort, you can keep your garage and the environment e-waste free.
According to the Global E-Waste Monitor, electronic waste is a growing problem, and by 2023, only 81 countries, including the European Union and India, had policies in place to tackle it. Meanwhile, the United States, one of the biggest producers of e-waste, still doesn't have a federal recycling law, even though some areas like Washington, D.C., have their own rules.
E-waste is a big problem, but even little actions can go a long way. By recycling responsibly and supporting better policies, we can protect the environment and reduce the impact of electronic waste.
At UNN, you are the news. Get involved by joining our weekly Field Messenger meetings. Visit unitednetwork.earth to learn more. Remember, if it's going to be, it's up to me.